All right, so let's talk about it here because we heard Shane say that they're not one or two players away. He said we're not definitely moving up. We've been getting a lot of calls at 6 about possibly moving back. What do you think is the most likely scenario for the Giants here?
Most likely, I would say probably just staying at 6, because the other two things are more complicated to do. Move up, you have to have a team that's willing to move back, and he said already the top 3 teams, he hasn't gotten a sense that they're interested in moving back. The fact that he did say he's surprised how much interest there has been in the 6th pick, that definitely caught my ear, and that doesn't sound like something he's making up, but still he said you have to weigh how far back are we going to go, you know, what players you're going to miss out on as you go far back. So I just think where they're at, like he said, they're not 1 or 2 players away, but at 6 you can get a premium talent, especially if we're not talking quarterback. One of those wide receivers would be there that could be the #1 receiver this team has lacked since, you know, Odell was scoring touchdowns 5 years ago. It feels like a long time ago. So I don't know that he'd be super enthusiastic to trade back too far, but I understand at least the thought of hearing those offers out, because they do need a lot of help so you can get more assets, more draft picks, and try and fill some holes that way.
All right, how much pressure do you think is on Shane going into this draft, considering where the team ended up last year?
I think a ton of pressure, because you figure now this will be his 3rd draft. The returns on those first 2 drafts, you can argue if they've been good, mediocre, not so good. Like, it has not been great though. He has not crushed it. Like, he needs a Detroit Lions draft from last year where you're hitting Pro Bowlers. Like, you have the 6th pick. That guy needs to be a game-changing player. You have an early 2nd-round pick. They need like starters, game-changing type players. And of course, if we're talking quarterback, like, it has to be a game-changing quarterback. You know, you can't just take a quarterback in the 1st round and he's mediocre. That's a quick way to get out of a job. So yeah, I mean, he needs to crush this draft, because again, I think where this roster is, he hasn't brought in a ton of all-pro type talent in his first 2 drafts. It's time to do that.